Welcome to the Taste China Learn English. Imagine walking into a small convenience store on a freezing, damp morning.
Oh, the best feeling, honestly, getting out of the cold.
Right. You push that heavy glass door open, stepping out of the biting wind. But instead of being hit by the sharp, roasted smell of coffee that you might expect in many parts of the world, you're greeted by something entirely different.
Something much more savory.
Exactly. There is this deep, earthy scent hanging heavy in the warm air. You look over at the counter, and sitting right next to the cash register is a large, warm electric pot.
Just bubbling away.
Yeah, full of this dark, simmering liquid. And bobbing just below the surface are dozens of eggs. This is the tea egg station.
An absolute staple.
It really is. So today, our deep dive has a unique mission. We are exploring the tea egg, or chayadan. And, because we want you, our listener, to truly absorb this journey, especially if you're an English beginner, we're keeping our pace comfortable.
We're taking our time.
Exactly. We are using clear, simple vocabulary, and we're going to explain the deeper mechanics of the English words naturally as we go. We'll look at the beautiful visual patterns of the food, the complex chemistry of the spices, and the deep cultural memories tied to this simple snack.
Savoring a new language, it requires exactly the same kind of patience as preparing the specific food. You really cannot rush it.
You definitely can't.
You have to let the structure and the vocabulary settle in over time. The tea egg is the perfect subject for this because it's fundamentally a food built on patience and slow transformation.
So let's start with that physical transformation, beginning with what hits you before you even see the pot.
Hmm.
In China, the scent of those simmering eggs is practically the official ambient smell of a busy morning commute.
It really is everywhere. It completely defines the space. The air around that convenience store pot is deeply aromatic.
Aromatic, that's a great word for our listeners.
Yeah, so when a scent is aromatic, it isn't faint and it isn't easily ignored. It means having a pleasant and distinctive smell that actively fills a room.
It's very noticeable.
Right. You don't have to lean in to smell an aromatic broth. It reaches you wherever you're standing.
It functions almost like a physical pull, right?
Right.
Like, is this aromatic draw similar to walking past a bakery in the morning?
Oh, absolutely.
Because, it's not just food being cooked, it acts as an invisible advertisement. It reaches out onto the cold street and pulls you inside. The aromatic draw of the tea egg pot seems to do the exact same thing.
It is marketing through scent. 100%. And there is a biological reason that invisible advertisement works so well. An aromatic scent like this, heavy with warm spices and tea, connects immediately with the part of your brain that processes memory and comfort.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, on a cold morning, your body is looking for heat and energy, so that aromatic steam drifting through the store, it signals to your nervous system that comfort is waiting right there at the counter.
Even if you aren't starving yet.
Exactly. The scent alone triggers the appetite.
And that invisible advertisement works. You hand over a few coins, and the clerk fishes an egg out of the dark liquid. It's hot in your hands. And now you have to peel it.
The best part.
Right. Now, if you have only ever eaten a standard hard-boiled egg, you expect the egg white underneath the shell to be completely blank, just smooth, rubbery, and pure white.
But instead, you get this amazing visual surprise.
Hmm.
Underneath the shell, the egg white isn't normal and plain at all. It's covered in a delicate, complex network of dark brown lines.
It's so striking.
It really is. They cross over each other randomly, creating a design that looks like a spider web wrapping entirely around the egg.
A spider web.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost looks like a piece of ancient architecture, or like you're holding a piece of stone.
Well, that's the exact vocabulary word we use to describe it. The pattern is marbled.
Marble.
Right. Marble is a type of hard stone used in classic sculpture and building, and it's known for having rich, dark, organic lines running randomly through a lighter base color.
So it looks just like the stone.
Exactly. When we say the tea egg has a marbled pattern, We mean those thin brown lines mimic the natural lines you see in raw stone. It turns a plain egg into a small piece of culinary art.
It really is beautiful. But how does that marbled pattern actually get onto the egg white? I mean, usually an eggshell is perfectly designed by nature to protect the inside from everything on the outside.
Right, it's a biological shield.
Yeah. So if the egg is cooked inside its shell, how does the dark liquid get in to draw those lines?
Well, the preparation process is designed to selectively bypass that natural shield.
Okay.
The eggs are first boiled in plain water until they're entirely hard. Then comes a crucial physical step. The cook takes a spoon and gently taps the outside of the shell.
Just to crack it.
Yes, they're deliberately causing trauma to the shell, creating a network of tiny cracks all over the surface. But, and this is key, they leave the broken shell fully intact on the egg. They don't keel it.
So you're shattering the armor, but you're leaving it fully dressed.
Exactly. You put those cracked eggs back into the dark liquid, and because the shell is full of microfractures, the liquid can bypass the defense. The flavor and the color seep into the egg.
Seep. That's another great word for us to highlight.
Yeah, to seep means to flow very slowly through small openings. It's not a rush of water, it's a slow, creeping movement.
So it's not like a dry sponge soaking up a spill instantly.
No, not at all.
It sounds more like geological water erosion. The dark liquid is slowly finding its way through the tiny cracks, almost drop by drop, over a period of hours. Does tapping the egg require a really delicate touch so you don't destroy it? Or is it just about creating enough little doors for the flavor to seep through?
It's definitely about control. You just need enough tiny doors.
Yeah.
The liquid seeps through the fractures, and wherever it touches the white protein of the egg underneath, it stains it dark brown.
Wow.
Yeah, that slow seeping action traces the exact shape of the cracked shell onto the egg itself. That's why the marbled pattern perfectly matches the fractures. It's basically a chemical photograph of the broken shell.
That is so cool. But if you strike the shell too hard with the spoon, it falls apart in the pot, right?
Oh, yeah. The entire egg gets exposed to the broth, and it just turns into a solid, plain brown egg.
You lose the stained glass window effect.
Exactly. Control and patience are everything. And because the seeping takes so much time, I'll share a quick pro tip with you.
Oh, please do.
There is a distinct advantage to knowing how the mechanics of that electric pot work. The eggs sitting at the very bottom of the pot have been steeped in the liquid the longest.
Because they sank down early on.
Right. They've steeped for hours more than the eggs floating at the top. So if you want the most intensely marbled lines and the deepest flavor, you always ask the store clerk to pull an egg from the bottom.
The bottom eggs are the premium eggs. I love that.
They absolutely are.
So now that we know the mechanical process, how the flavor physically enters the egg by seeping through those little doors, what exactly is seeping in? Like, what is the chemistry of that dark liquid?
It's a fascinating mix. It's certainly not just water.
Right, the name is tea egg, so the base is obviously tea. But why specifically black tea? Why not green tea or just hot water with salt?
Well, black tea serves a very specific chemical purpose here. It fundamentally alters the texture and the bite of the food. Black tea gives the egg a smooth, soft taste rather than a sharp one. It makes the flavor mellow.
Mellow. Let's define that one.
When we say a flavor is mellow, we mean it's smooth, soft, and rounded. It lacks any harsh edges or sudden shocks to your palate.
So like a raw lemon is sharp, a raw chili pepper is sharp.
Exactly. But the black tea smooths everything out. It contains organic compounds called tannins. And when those tannins interact with the proteins of the boiling egg, they actually neutralize that sulfurous smell that hard-boiled eggs sometimes develop.
Oh, that sulfur smell. Yeah, nobody likes that.
Right. The black tea softens the entire flavor profile. It creates a mellow, deep foundation so that the egg doesn't taste aggressive or overly eggy.
But the tea is only the foundation, right? There's a lot more floating in that dark water.
Oh, definitely. Added to this is a complex mix of traditional spices. You usually have star anise, which physically looks like a dried wooden eight-pointed star.
And that brings a sort of dark, licorice-like depth.
Yes. Plus, you have cinnamon sticks for a woody, fragrant sweetness, bay leaves to add an earthy tone, and sometimes you'll see Szechuan peppercorns floating in the mix too.
Which add that slight, numbing tingle on the tongue.
Precisely. Then you add the final balancers. Soy sauce is poured in to provide saltiness and that rich, dark coloring for the marbled lines.
And to counter the heavy salt of the soy sauce, a little bit of sugar is added, right?
Yeah, the sugar is crucial because it balances the saltiness so it doesn't overpower your palate. It creates a savory, salty, and slightly sweet treat.
It's like a perfectly mixed potion, or like a symphony. Every single spice, like the cinnamon or the peppercorn, has a specific job in the pot. The soy sauce pulls towards salt, the sugar pulls towards sweet. But because they simmer together for hours, they create a unified blend.
Blend is a perfect word for this.
Right, for our learners, a blend is a mixture of different things that combine so thoroughly they form a single experience.
Exactly. When you taste the dark liquid, you don't taste the sharp salt of the soy sauce alone or the strong licorice of the star anise alone. The heat and the extended cooking time force them to integrate. They form a mellow, cohesive blend.
And that complex spice blend is what eventually seeps through the cracked shell.
Ugh.
It completely transforms a basic, inexpensive egg into something layered and sophisticated.
It really does. But despite that culinary complexity, the tea egg is rarely served on a fancy plate in a high-end restaurant.
No, its natural environment is out in the busy world.
If you look at where tea eggs are primarily sold, you will find them at bus stops, train stations, and street-side corner stores. They are engineered for the realities of travel.
Which brings us to another great English word, portable. The tea egg is highly portable.
Meaning it's easy to carry or move around. It doesn't require any special utensils or a table to eat.
Portability is so essential for street food. Think about someone rushing through a transit station to catch a train. They don't have time to sit down with a hot bowl of noodle soup.
And they can't carry a delicate pastry that will just get crushed in their bag.
Right. But they could just buy a tea egg, pop it into a small plastic bag, and eat it whenever hunger strikes.
It is the ultimate portable food, and the fractured shell acts as its own natural protective packaging.
But beyond just being easy to carry, it offers something that most fast, portable street food does not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most quick transit foods is heavy, right? It's deep fried or packed with sugar. The tea egg, on the other hand, is wholesome.
Wholesome, that is the perfect description.
For our listeners, when we call a food wholesome, we mean it's good for your health and physical well-being.
Yeah.
It's much better for you than, say, a bag of chips.
Definitely. The tea egg provides a great source of protein. It's steeped in water, tea, and natural spices. Unlike many street foods, it isn't greasy or messy.
So because it comes in its own natural packaging, is the tea egg basically nature's original wholesome protein bar?
It basically is. You peel it, eat it, your hands stay clean, and you have the physical fuel to survive a long journey.
And those long journeys are exactly where the cultural impact of the tea egg is felt the most, aren't they?
Absolutely. For millions of people, this food is deeply tied to the nostalgia of travel. I vividly remember taking long train rides with my family when I was a child.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before we boarded the train, my parents would always buy tea eggs from a vendor on the platform.
And because it's so portable, you just carry them right onto the train.
We did. And when the train started moving, people all around the carriage would start pulling out their food. Within minutes, the entire train carriage would end up smelling like that beautiful aromatic spice blend.
Oh, wow. The invisible advertisement from the station suddenly fills the enclosed space of the train.
Exactly. That mellow, savory scent wrapping around everyone is a very strong, comforting memory for me. It transformed a cold train carriage into a shared dining room.
Food is never just about consuming calories, is it? It carries the heavy weight of memory and culture.
It really does.
And in this case, it carries all of that inside a beautifully marbled shell.
Perfectly said.
Well, as we wrap up our journey today, let's do a quick, clear recap of our word tour for our English learners. We want to make sure you can use these words the next time you need a quick snack.
Good idea. Let's walk through the physical journey of the egg one more time. We started outside the convenience store, pulled in by a scent that was aromatic.
Right. An aromatic scent is pleasant and distinctive in the air. Then, once we bought the egg and peeled it, we saw a complex, dark pattern on the white surface. We call this visual pattern marble.
Like the hard stone with colored lines.
Mm.
And that marbled pattern is created because the cook lightly fractures the shell, allowing the dark liquid to seep inside.
To seep is to flow slowly through small openings, and the liquid seeping in gets its smooth, soft flavor profile from the black tea, making the taste incredibly mellow.
Mellow, meaning smooth and soft, not sharp. And that mellow base is mixed with traditional spices, soy sauce, and sugar to create a perfect blend.
A blend is a mixture of different things. Then, when it's time to travel, we take the egg with us because it is highly portable.
Easy to carry or move.
And finally, we choose it over a bag of chips because it is a wholesome choice. It's good for your health and physical well-being.
Mm.
Aromatic, marble, seep, mellow, blend, portable, and wholesome.
A great list of words.
Learning a language is just like letting spices seep into a tea egg. It takes a little time, but the results are deeply rewarding. You just have to let the vocabulary slowly seep in.
You really do. But before we leave you today, there's a fun parting question to ponder.
Oh, the great debate.
Yes. When you eat a tea egg, do you prefer eating the flavorful, savory yolk or just the marbled white? People are very divided on this.
I'm definitely a marbled white fan myself.
Really? I love the yolk.
Yeah.
But more importantly, for our listeners, have you ever tried making them in your own kitchen?
Gathering some black tea, cinnamon sticks, and soy sauce to try making these at home is a great experience.
It creates that aromatic draw right in your own home.
Well, thank you for joining us for this simple, slow-paced deep dive today. Keep letting those new words seep gently into your daily life, and whatever you do, keep practicing.
Take your time, enjoy some wholesome food on your travels, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye for now.